So it says find the solutions. All right, the solution zeros, whatever means factor it, set each piece equal to zero. I look at this, I see four terms. When I see four terms, I tend to think factor by grouping. All right, and I notice right away that those have an x squared in common. And I notice also, I hope, that these have a 4 in common. So I'm going to take an x squared out of here, and I'm going to get x squared times x minus 5. And then I'm going to take a 4 out of here, and I'm going to get plus 4 times x minus 5 equals 0. All right, and that's going to give me x squared plus 4 and x minus 5. And usually I write those the other way, but it doesn't matter. All right, now here is where this will take a slight turn from what we had happen before. The x minus 5, set it equal to 0, and I get 5, which is what you would expect. All right, but then the x squared plus 4 equals 0. There's no shortcut way to do this. You have to go through and actually solve this, and you're going to get x squared equals negative 4. To get rid of a squared, I take a square root. So I get x equals square root of negative 4. All right, now I am capable of taking the square root of a negative 4. It's going to give me, if I split this up, square root of 4, square root of negative 1. I know that that's an I, and I know that's a 2. All right, but there's one thing I have to remember when I solve equations, and at some point you should have learned this. I doubt anybody remembers it. But when I take a square root as part of an equation, I should get plus or minus whatever I get, because if I just had square root of 9, say, we often will say that's 3. But the problem is 3 squared is 9, but negative 3 squared is also 9. So that means that really we don't know if the square root of 9 is 3 or not. All right, we know it's 3 or negative 3, but we don't know which one it actually is. So whenever you take a square root as part of solving an equation, you have to get a plus and a minus answer. So my solutions here would be the 5 that I got right here, and then plus or minus 2i that I got right there. So I'm going to put minus 2i, 2i, and 5. And it's important to have the positive and the negative 2i, because in the beginning we talked about whatever the highest exponent is, which is a 3, means there needs to be 3 solutions. And if you just have 2i, you don't have 3 solutions, you have 2. So it's important to remember that when you take a square root, you have to just stick a plus minus in front of what you do